So I want to welcome everybody to this class today. That is the class that handles the impact of financial decisions on strategy. It's part of the business simulation course. I am now going to switch off my webcam so that we save the bandwidth and so that you can follow my voice. On your screens, you will see that we are dealing with lecture 3 today. Lecture 3 handles about the impact of financial decisions on a business strategy. So, what is the purpose of strategy? The purpose of strategy is a very interesting question because quite often we do not understand quite why we have a strategy, but it is very clear that every business has a strategy. It may not be an elaborate strategy and it might not be a very good strategy, but businesses have strategy because even when a person walks across a road, that person has a strategy of getting from the one side to the other side. However, in business, the reason for business strategy is to gain a competitive edge over your competitors. So therefore, the strategy is not devised for the pleasure of the directors, but the strategy is devised in order to gain an advantage and to be better than your competitors. What are the factors that impact on your competitive position? The first one is results, results, results. A business must have results. A business must have positive results. And without those results, you will not be able to execute your strategy successfully. The second one is consistency. You must have a consistent business and there must be consistent decision making, and therefore strategy is very important. The third aspect is consumer market position. Consumer market position is where your consumers are in the wider market. So, for example, we may decide to go for the high income earners, or we may decide to go for low income earners. We may decide to have a product with a low margin and a low price, or we can decide that we will sell fewer products at a higher margin. The fourth aspect that impacts on your competitive position is the strength of your balance sheet. It is impossible for a business to have a good strategy and to be able to compete without a solid balance sheet. A solid balance sheet reflects the cash flow of the business. It reflects the strength of the assets in case of misfortune. And the strength of the balance sheet also gives confidence to investors. The fifth aspect of a competitive position is management infrastructure. You must have a strong management infrastructure, and that means that you must have skilled people at the right levels with the right knowledge and the right equipment to be able to do their jobs and to handle aspects of customers. Okay, at this point, I will switch on my webcam and I will invite questions from the students, which I can then answer. So if you have any questions, then I will unmute your microphone and you can ask the question so that the rest of the class can hear that. And then afterwards we can debate that question and I can try to answer it. Since we have no questions, I'm going to then move on to my next slide, which is funding decisions. Now, funding decisions has two legs. One is internal funding, which is this leg here. And then the other leg is external funding, which is this leg that I'm showing with my mouse right now. Internal funding again comes from either the owners or from retained profits. Owner's capital in turn then is injected through share capital, preference shares and shareholder loans. Retained profits is profits that are generated from operations and which the directors decide to retain in the business instead of paying them out to the shareholders. External funding comes from banks and other types of investors, your creditors, your debtors, and parties such as that. All parties that are not part of the internal part of the business.